Oh, I get these candles dripping all over it.
Is that bad?
No.
Um,
Hello, welcome to the Fish and Virgin podcast. I am your co-host Mark, and today we're going to be talking about getting deep down and spiritual.
I'm the other co-host. As y'all know, my name is Alvaro. Nobody knows how to say it, but it's Alvaro.
So before we get into a bit more of a spiritual conversation, we have to introduce ourselves to you guys and let you know who we are and what we're about. So as I said, my name is Mark. I have been a practicing witch for about 5 years or so. I started back in high school. As for me and Alvaro, we both met in middle school, 7th grade, and have been talking ever since. And now we're making a podcast.
Isn't that crazy? I remember being in Mr. Johnson's class. Daddy, Mr. Johnson.
Ugh,
Is our,
man.
what was it, U.S. history? Texas history?
Yes. Whichever one. I don't know. We studied the plague, so it was probably U.S. history.
I remember there was something about the Galveston play. Anyways,
The
that's
bubonic.
uh, we weren't friends right away. Don't get it
Oh, for
twisted.
sure. I was definitely. Oh, I was hella straight in middle school. Had a whole girlfriend, the whole nine. And then I was like, oh, look, it's this nerd. He's getting good grades and I'm failing. And so I'm going to sit next to him. So I sat next to him and I made him. Well, not. I cheated off him mostly. And stole a lot of his answers. But then he made me study. And then we became friends. Like, wow. I was really the bully in this situation.
He truly was. He was not the nicest at times,
Still am.
but it's part of the charm at this point.
Exactly. Expect me to be nice. But then I am, so.
He is
Just trying to
nicest
lie.
person I've ever met. Every time I
Oh,
see him,
bitch,
I'm like,
don't
hi.
lie now.
Lying,
I have a big
dude,
heart, that's it.
and I feel it.
Yeah. What can I say? I just get a little crazy sometimes.
And about spirituality, my journey has been a little different than his.
Oh, way different.
I mean, there is really none. Like, there's no journey. Like, this is the beginning. Like the real beginning. I've always been interested. I always talk.
That's technically not true because we did try and start a cult.
We've had our cult. We've had plenty of cult attempts
Yes.
and have been successful so far, but we're still recruiting.
Wait, we started our cult. Well, it wasn't a cult. It was a coven. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
It was like sophomore year.
with who? Who was in
It
it?
was me, you, and I'm not gonna at people here.
Outing witches.
Yes,
That's not what we
it was
do.
the original ones. It was me, you, the girl, and the boy. The boy came later and messed
Oh,
up.
the boy, the
The
monster,
boy.
the
Oh,
monster.
yes, we can't get too specific. We can't get too specific with the name.
Oh, oh,
Oh, oh. But yeah, we had several attempts to start a coven. I think we tried to start it like 3 times. And then the last time I was just like, nah, fuck this. I gotta go. I need to get into my spirituality.
you hear that?
Yes.
Hold up.
I still had plenty of times where I tried to resurrect the coven and I tried to like start my own covens. It's sad. But now I'm at a point where I'm just like, you know what? I don't really want to practice with other people because witches be messy sometimes.
They are. I wait. How do I go into me?
Just talk about yourself. You are doing good with your spirituality. Because, I mean, technically, you didn't have any.
I truly didn't. I grew up a Catholic. I had my first communion. Well,
Even
the
then,
first,
it was loosely Catholic.
oh, very loosely. Like, yeah. But my last communion was for sure my last thing that was the, what is it, the eyelash that broke the camel's back or whatever. And they were like, imagine me, little 15-year-old gay ass. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be here. It's 7 in the morning, and they have my little thick ass with my, the little band they put on your arm.
Yeah.
But it did not fit. And before the little bell started ringing or anything, my a godmother passed me a Bible with the
And it was
rosary
burned.
inside of it. And she was passing it to me, and the bell started ringing, and the peace starts walking in, right? Like it's starting. And she passes it to me. I drop it. Rosary beads explode everywhere, like crystal beads explode everywhere. There's this whole drama. Me and my aunt are on the ground, like picking up the little pieces, and like the rosary is falling apart in my hand with the Bible. That should have been a sign.
Jesus said no.
Literally, Jesus was like, "No, ma'am." I still went. It didn't get any better. They started talking about the priest decided that this was the moment. This was the time to talk about why same-sex marriage is not okay. He was like, if God would have wanted a same-sex couple, they would have shown it in the first family. And I was like, this lady cheated on her husband and made up a whole religion about it. Girl, what you mean?
Baby. Oh my goodness.
And that was around the time I had already known you, and I had heard about him talking about witchcraft and spirituality and how he could do so many things and like he would get answers to things and I saw that it did help him. I saw you get brightened, like your personality, like you love this, and I would
like if
feel
you
that.
saw me in middle school compared to like whenever, because I started witchcraft, I think 2015. So if you saw me compared from middle school to whenever I started doing witchcraft, completely different person. Baby, because I believe I was a fighter. I got in so many fights. I argued with so many people. And
Different
when I got to
sexuality.
high school, everybody just knew me as the gay witch that was walking around the halls. Very much the craft.
Doing tarot cards at lunch,
Yes. Well, it wasn't just at lunch. It was at lunch, at the
anytime.
library, anywhere anybody saw me and they saw that I had my tarot cards out, there was an instant circle around me. And they're like, okay, I want to do it now. I want to do it now. Baby, I started an empire, started a business.
You love to be like him.
This week so far.
Period. As you should. See, I don't. He's tried to teach me a couple times.
More than a couple times. I'm telling you, whenever I tried to start this coven, I've been trying to teach so many baby witches about the crafts. It's just they're not dedicated like me.
So this is where I'm stepping in, I guess, to start my journey.
So this podcast is mostly for him, mostly to help him learn about things.
Once again, Alvaro being narcissistic for hours.
But it makes sense because, like, at least if I'm helping you do this, I'm gonna be helping somebody else while we're doing this. So it's not gonna be completely selfish. It's partly selfish, and I mean, it's
if any of our listeners feel connected or whatever, we're also here for y'all. If y'all have any questions, we're always here to answer them. If I can talk to you about anything.
Yes, hit us up on the Fish and Virgin on Instagram. We have our own Instagram page.
DM us there.
Yes. If you want anything, follow and DM me.
Follow me too. I've been posting really good pictures at al.bacado, al.bacado.
And yes. Follow me at _Mr. MISTER Crocker CROCKER _.
I love how we just did that in the middle of it.
Self promo.
As we should.
We got one sponsorship, not more. So we need to give ourselves as much promo as we can.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
Exactly. But I feel like that's the best way to start your journey as a witch is by starting off with like a Catholic or a Christian base. Because like my mom, she was Catholic too. She was like when I say loosely, I mean like she's loosely Catholic. Like she says her prayers before she goes to sleep, and that's about it. Enters her dreams and disappears in the morning. So like, but me, whenever I was a kid, me being the closeted homosexual that I am, I was like, no, I don't want to go to hell. God, please make me straight. And just like praying every night, crying my eyes to sleep. And then I would like read the Bible, and so I read the Bible cover to cover, and then I read the picture Bible, which I was reading all these Bibles trying to figure out how to save my soul. And then I guess in high school, whenever I first started, because I had always been doing witchy shit. Like whenever I was little, my mom had to like beat my ass because I was being a little witch. Like I had a spell book and everything. I was sitting there writing my spells. I had my little enchantments. I had my little charms written inside of a fucking composition book. And then I had showed my mom it was like a cancer spell because my grandma had cancer. So I was trying to show her the little book that had my spells in it. And she was like, "Oh my goodness, you're gonna go to hell because you're writing in the devil's book." And I was like, "Girl, you bought me this composition notebook for school 2 weeks ago." But yeah, I started off heavily Christian, and then in high school, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it.
And how it's been since.
Exactly. Ever since, baby girl got bottles on bottles, Florida water, palmistry hands, different dirts, crystals, cards, candles, up the ass.
How has how has it helped you? How do you feel like it has helped you? Like what has been the biggest benefit you have found?
Definitely, probably my mind. Like, I wouldn't say I was dumb, but I was very dumb emotionally, especially whenever I was younger. Because whenever I was younger, I didn't know how to process my emotions at all, so I would cry over any inconvenience that happened to me. So like,
Mhm.
like I remember specifically, even when I was in middle school, if I couldn't pull my shoe all the way on, you know, like how with tennis shoes, like sometimes you can't get it over your heel. If I couldn't get it over my heel, I would start busting out in tears.
Oh my
And
god.
I just had no sort of impulse control. And then, like, I guess I just like started trying to like go through my emotions a lot better. And so starting witchcraft was a lot about controlling your emotions and then also going through your emotions and making sure that you're feeling what you need to feel. And then especially since my dad died right before that, so bitch, I really had to figure out how to control my emotions or things are gonna be wackadoodle. So that's why as of now, my brother and sister completely off the walls, crazy. And me, I'm just it's just a little crazy. But that's Pisces.
It, but it's a contained crazy like
Exactly.
just
Like I know when to shut it on and off. And also I can use it to my advantage at times. Because like whenever I have a moment where things need to be completely serious or I'm trying to get my point across, it's like I don't even try anymore to like conjure up a sort of energy that I need. But whenever I need a certain energy to be portrayed, it just automatically takes over and like you can completely tell whenever like I'm mirroring a different energy or something.
mhm.
Really weird because I haven't gotten into like exploring like why that happens, like especially like whenever I'm feeling very strongly. But it's a very powerful magic because it's driven by emotions.
A lot of magic is powered by emotions, isn't it?
Well, it depends on the type of magic. There are certain magics that are dangerous if you get your emotions involved. Like whenever you're trying to do spells on other people. Yes. Love spells, period. Never do that. You have personal experience.
Um I don't know if y'all can see, but y'all see my phone is cracked? Love spell.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Do you want to talk about that?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I can talk about some times that I've done spells that misfire though.
Uh-huh.
I didn't
Tell me.
because this is whenever I was no, I was still in high school. Like I want to say junior year. Well, there's a few spells, so you
Oh,
know what
come
it is.
on.
But there was a time where I was having like really bad anxiety, and so what I did was I did a charm on a small piece of paper to like transfer my anxiety. So I basically put all of my emotions and all of my anxiety inside of that little piece of paper. And there was this kid that was sitting next to me, and I was gonna slip the piece of paper in his backpack. It's so terrible. But I never got to do it because right before I was gonna slip it into his backpack, it was time to go already. So we had to leave. So I just stuffed it in my pocket. And then whenever I got home, I was like, man, I can't do anything with this anymore. So I put it under one of my plants. And then so I put it under one of my plants. I planted it down, and I was like, okay, it's paper. It's gonna degrade. It's gonna feed the soil or whatever. Baby, I looked at that plant a week later. Capiche? It's dead, deceased. And so I was
Yeah.
like, ugh.
I remember you told me about the song. I was like, what the fuck?
Yes. And then I had posted a video about it on YouTube, and everybody in the comments was so mad at me.
Wait, what were they
So
saying?
stupid. Why would you do that? And I was like, well, baby, I'm letting you know my mistakes so you don't make them.
It's a learning process.
Exactly. I also remember one day you and the girl who shall not be named came over to my house and they bought spirits.
Oh yeah, that was
Bought
fun.
spirits. It was fun for you because you didn't witness anything before but the pre-hand.
I felt so good when I got home that day. Like,
I know. And that was so mind you, let me go full into this story because this story is very enlightening for those of you who are wanting to get into a spiritual practice because this just shows that whenever you're just beginning, things are not only attracted to you but they attach to you, which is another reason why witches, well, older witches tell younger witches protection is very important, warding is very important, and making sure that you're protected is very important because I was not protected at all at this point. I didn't have any way of protecting myself. I completely let it in and let the energy sit there and vibrate.
best.
So we were doing a project for school, and I had invited the two over to my house so we could work on it. They came in, we were chilling. It was I don't know why we decided to go into my closet. I think it was because it was like a better noise cancellation or whatever. And so we went into my closet, and I had like a really high quality microphone because I was doing like a gaming channel at this time, and so I had a really good quality microphone. And so we hooked the microphone up. We went into the closet and we recorded our audio for the video and somebody had pulled out their phone and it was set to the I think it was the calculator or the number pad. It was set to something and the whole line of numbers was just 666666666. And then so that was when I was like, okay, that's creepy.
That was the first time.
That's weird. And then we got the laptop out of the closet and we were listening to the audio back. And then so as soon as we start the video, the whole audio is just completely like robotic and staticky and all janky, like it was being fried in a microwave. And so that was the second sign. We are like, oh, that's really weird. And we looked to see if the microphone was hooked up. The microphone was hooked up. Everything was hooked up. The light was on the microphone. There's no reason it should have done that. And then they were like, okay, it's feeling a little heavy in here. Like, it feels really heavy to me. Does it feel heavy to you? And then I was like, yeah, it does feel a little heavy. So, me being the little witch I am, I knew how to do a limpia, which is like the limpia de huevo. You get the egg and you rub it on them. I didn't have the huevo. Bitch, I had water. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use water. So I used water. I passed the water over them. I fully cleaned them. Had the water, threw the water out the window. They left perfectly fine. The energy let go of them. They were feeling nice and cleansed. They left. Cool. I went back to my room. My books fell off of my. Well, they didn't fall off. They were thrown off of my dresser. Blinks? Blink again? Huh?
Didn't you tell me that you couldn't get into a door? Was it your bedroom door or your
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that part. So whenever they left, I would walk them out. And whenever I was trying to go back into my room, I tried to open my door and my door wouldn't open because the carpet that was in front of my door was rolled up in front of like stopping the door from moving.
when you just left?
Fuck does the carpet roll up behind you?
I have no idea.
So
That's
yeah, I knew
it.
something was janky and something was up. I didn't trust it. But yeah, that's a good reason why you guys should always do protections. I have the 16 protections in my room right now. Fail safes for each one.
I really should start into in that. Then we can
Exactly.
talk about that in the next episode.
Oh yeah, so we talk about protecting boarding. I have more where where I forgot to protect my stuff. Yes. But what about you? Because I know you have done some other things. I know you have done some types of magics besides love spells.
Well, mostly what I'm interested in the most, it's like energy and like I was at first I was really interested in like energy and like how you can transfer it to people and how like you can feel people's energy and like you can tell a lot. And people are always talking about like I don't like their vibe, like or whatever.
Yes.
And like that's what it is. It's like your energy. But like I want to get into it deeper. Like I want to learn like basically how to control energy, which is what magic is energy because it's like controlling your reality.
And I remember we used to do a lot of it's not like spells, but it was like energy practices where we would literally transfer the energy from each other.
Over the phone.
Why we're so like psychically linked now because we used to do all of that shit together. But yeah, we literally used to do energy practices together, even with our friends that weren't witches. We would still like do little energy practices where we would hold each other's hands and we would try to transfer our energy to each other, and then like weird shit would be happening in our minds and images would be swirling and stuff. It was crazy. And I remember specifically that I used to work, especially when I was beginning off, I used to work a lot with energy and trying to push off energy into certain objects. I had my own poppet.
I remember.
I'll save that one for another one about me, another failed protection spell. But yeah, energy work is another big thing you need to focus on.
It is. It's like for sure what I've learned is one of the basics. Like what it is the basics. Not even extending past witchcraft and spirituality. Like it's the basis of life. Like we are energy. We literally are energy. Like it's been
Yeah.
proven we are energy. We are beings of energy.
Like your emotions, like how I said whenever I was talking about controlling my emotions was mostly me learning how to control the energies of my emotions, because all of our emotions are directed by the energies that we have inside of our body. So if you know how to release that energy and fully release it, not just by crying, because crying is a form of release of that energy because it's letting that energy out in some sort of way. Like you need to fully like let the sadness or the depression or the grief out of you, the energy out of you. And what you were talking about, whenever people are like, "Oh, like they have bad vibes or something," I like if I feel bad vibes about them. That's a lot of external energy. So like when people talk about auras and like the field around a person is their outer external energy. Now, when you're connecting to somebody's internal energy, it's a completely different ball game. Because that's what Reiki healers do, chakra healers do. They connect with your inside energies and they manipulate them and move them around and rearrange your energies. And I find that really cool. Even though I haven't gotten into that a lot, it's still
It,
really cool.
that's for sure something that like I wanted to go into, even maybe even healing question mark. I don't know yet. But yeah, and this is I'm gonna use my conversations with you, like our conversations, as a way to actually find out what I want because I don't really I'm not sure what I want to get from it, but I know that I want to get enlightenment. I want to get release because traumas or whatever, and I know that this is a really good way to physically and also like spiritually and everything and psychologically and everything like streamline.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a good thing to mention that you don't even have to have a reason for doing it all the time. Like I know
You
whenever I started, well, not whenever I started, but whenever I actually got into witchcraft, I started out with Wicca because that's what I knew at the time. That's what I knew was the witchcraft basic. And so I started out with Wicca and I had no reason to start it. It was just something that I was interested in, something that I felt called to, something that I felt was really more me, and I got into it with no reasoning behind it. I didn't even know that I had emotional instability issues or that I had a lot of like mental habits that I needed to break down to myself. So whenever I started getting more into it, I realized my purpose later on. I didn't even have to start it with an intention. And now there's a lot of people who come to me asking me for advice on like why they should start doing witchcraft, or like does it help with certain things. I feel like personally, to me it's best to start off with no ground zero, no reason for getting into it, no ulterior motives behind it, because then it gives you a lot of room to grow and you don't feel so confined. And also, you sort of need some sort of structure because we come from a very structured life and a very structured society. So Wicca for me was a very good stepping stone because it gave me that structure that Christianity and Catholicism gave me, and gave me sort of a set of beliefs to follow. And then whenever I felt comfortable enough with that, I no longer had to follow those things. I knew that I could feel comfortable in learning my own magic and how to control my own magic, and how far I can extend it and make my own rules for my practice. I didn't have to stay Wiccan if I didn't want to. And also, you don't have to sign any contracts. You don't have to work with the devil. You don't have to work with God. Wicca specifically has many different deities underneath it. You can follow a Norse path, Afro-Central path, Central American path. You could. There's so many different deities that there are. Like I know witches that literally have like three deities, two spirits, and like a demon
Demon
with.
in a pecan.
Exactly. Maybe they have them in the fucking Altoid tin and
Yes.
they work with these spirits. So it really doesn't matter how you start. You don't have to start with a full fucking altar, candles, books, ritual spells, spell salts, and sands and things like that. This stuff you're gonna accumulate over time. I accumulated a full arsenal of things over 5 years, and I'm still getting more stuff every week. So nothing is structured whenever you're getting into witchcraft, and you have to be able to deal with that. That your life is constantly going to be unstructured and unwritten, and you're going to have control over your destiny. It's no longer going to be written for you because you're entering a new mind state. You're no longer following a belief system. You're making your belief system. But then again, that's just what some people believe.
No, it's true though. It's like with life, like you don't have to follow you don't have to follow um, a set rule book or anything on life and who you want to be, where you want to end up. Like, yeah, basically, it allows getting into witchcraft. I feel like it's gonna allow you to feel that freedom of, I don't know how to explain it, of like
Controlling your life,
yeah, you can have
the
control.
path that you follow.
Because from freedom, I feel like control does come from freedom, I guess, or like vice versa, or whatever.
And that's why I feel like Christianity, or the whole Christian belief system, will never die, because there are people who need that structured belief and need that path to teach them something. Because the only thing that keeps God and the gods alive is the fact that somebody believes in them. And the fact that multiple people are believing in them gives them the amount of power that they have. The fact that all of North America at one point was controlled by Christians and all of them were believing in God gave them the power to create that energy of God. You know what I mean? Or the fact that whenever the gods were losing followers and losing the amount of people following them, they didn't have that strength to go and reach other people. So the stories that were passed on gave them that strength to where there's now a resurgence of people following all of these different paths that they're creating. Like I don't know if you know what it is, but it's called Tulsa. It's like a type of entity or spirit that is literally fueled on how much you believe something exists. And it normally is like with folk legends, like La Llorona would technically be considered a Tulsa because the
Mm-hmm.
amount of people that believe in her are giving her the strength to actually exist and do what she does. So why wouldn't the same rule apply for a deity? People are like, oh, well, where did God come from? God came from a thought. It doesn't matter how small or minute a thing is, things have thoughts. Everything has a thought. So anything that can think something up can create a life form. And once that life form evolves, it has bigger and better thoughts. And eventually, we're going to have thoughts of these 16th dimensional beings that are literally moving the world around on its axis. So, literally, your belief system and your craft are completely fueled by how much you believe something works or how much you believe something exists. If you don't believe in your magic or in your spells, none of your spells are going to work. And that's how I normally
I mean,
follow my path and follow my beliefs.
mhm. And I don't know how you see it, but I see it as in you need to realize what you are living in first, like what this reality is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all BS. Like, none of it is fucking real.
Mm-hmm.
None of it matters.
And it's constantly showing us that it's not real.
It literally, we were made out of chaos.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, why would, this is not me bashing Christians, but why would a God create something that was set to be destroyed? Like, we were
Exactly.
created to be destroyed.
And I feel
So,
like that's the part that worries people the most is the fact that they were created from chaos, so they feel like nothing has order. And Christianity gives them that order. It puts all the pieces into place.
but you truly don't like you don't need order, but like
Yeah.
people for sure need order because child.
Especially certain people who have been literally instilled in their mind that there is no other way than to have a set order or else everything is going to be chaotic and people are going to be like, oh well, then I can just run into the street and rob a bank. Well, with that logic, more than likely if there was no order you would do that because a normal person wouldn't be like, oh, there's no order, let me go rob a bank.
Mhm.
Because
People forget the basis of like morals and like why would you like, and they think like, oh, atheist or like whatever, like people who's not a Christian, like they always think that their morals are messed up or fucked up or whatever, but it's like
exactly,
you know what makes a person feel good, like you know what's right, you know what's wrong, you know,
you
like
have a
what
sense of morality.
exactly.
You don't have to
and
have somebody tell you what is right and wrong. Just
and
like the Satanists, their whole thing is don't intrude on other people's lives. Be a genuine good person. Don't push your beliefs on other people. That is morally correct. You shouldn't be trying to push your beliefs on to other people, especially the government. The government is trying to make America a Christian country when it literally says in the Constitution that there's
don't do
freedom of
that.
religion.
They say don't do that, but you want to know
Exactly.
why? Because Christians are the easiest to manipulate.
Yeah, and also Christians have been manipulated and corrupted for so long. Kings have literally rewritten Bibles because they wanted to instill rules onto certain people. There's so many different versions of a Bible that you can't possibly say that one is correct. Especially when there's different versions of different Bibles.
Mhm.
No, that's what I'm saying. Everything is solely up to your beliefs because nobody's beliefs are ever the same. So whatever you believe is true to you and you specifically. It's not whatever you believe is true is true. It's just true in application to yourself. Because I mean, do we know that had we not been instilled in our minds that we could not fly, that we wouldn't be able to fly? No, nobody knows that because we're born with the ideas and with the notion that we can't fly. We're not birds. But if we come to a level of understanding to where we are not born with gender roles, with specific heteronormative values and
Mhm.
heteronormative perspectives,
Mhm.
our life would be completely different. We wouldn't have to have these laws input by religion on our society. These laws would be created by what we believe is morally correct. Because is a trans person dangerous to me? Why would they be? What makes them dangerous? Are they holding a gun up to me? So what makes them dangerous? Are they polluting kids? How are they polluting a kid who has their own mind?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's just toxic religions that really get ants up my spine.
It truly is. And when we talk about Christianity, like you know who, y'all
We're
know
mostly
who.
talking about like radical Christianity. And we're talking about the Christians like the Westboro Baptist Church are the ones that stand outside of Planned Parenthood holding up signs and yelling at women telling them they're going to hell. Like it doesn't
Girl,
make any sense.
this world does not matter. Like we're here to have fun. We're here to feel love. We are here to,
We're here
even
to
though
experience a 3D life.
exactly
And
any way we can. And witchcraft can help you
yeah.
like figure a little more out about what's really going on if you're interested in that too. And
Because it's sort of like I don't want to say it's because you're definitely not transcending in the sense of like 4D,
mhm,
more of dipping your mind into the possibilities of your life or the possibilities of what your life could be. So you're in a 3D world, but things like astral travel exists where you can literally walk in the astral world and have effects on the your astral body and things in a different state. You're entering a completely different dimension while you're still in the 3D world.
that's crazy.
It's just a completely different mindset, and you don't even have to be on drugs.
Mhm. But you drugs could help,
Yeah, they definitely could.
but that's another conversation.
I think again another conversation for another day.
Yeah, but that will be like when we mean drugs, we mean like psychedelics,
Yeah,
mind altering, like hallucinogenics or whatever.
definitely we're not going to be doing MDMA while
Mm,
trying to astral project.
at least not yet.
Doing that. We haven't ascended to that level.
um, we hit everything.
I know. That's all I really had. I didn't really have anything else to talk about.
We like hit everything, and I never looked down, and we hit everything.
Yeah, baby, mine's was closed.
I'm telling you, this was meant to happen. The way we just flowed.
Yeah. Well, I knew that it would flow once we get started. It's just you have to find a sort of
The state,
yeah, a state and a starting point. The
the
starting
flow.
point
Yeah.
definitely sets the progress. Okay, you. Oh wait, you're supposed to do the outro.
Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot to prepare it.
You don't have to prepare it. Just
Thank you for listening to us or watching us or whatever. I know a lot of y'all are our friends and y'all know who we are. Thank you for supporting us. This is truly a passion project, you could say, for the both of us. And we're excited to talk more and open y'all's minds and hearts and lives to whatever we're about to bring. So thank you. It's been nice. Goodbye.
And as we're ending off the podcast, I would like to say that if you guys are watching this on YouTube, please go check out the Spotify podcast that we are putting out because we're putting it on Spotify podcast, Apple Podcast, and Anchor. Anchor is actually the sponsor for this video. The sponsorship is going to be at the end of the video, just in case you want to know about Anchor, how you can start your own podcast, and such. So go check us out on Anchor and Spotify. Any ads that show up on our podcast will be helping us. So I please ask that you watch it 16 times over and over and over again so we can get that coin because we need the money.
If you have an ad blocker on and you're watching on your computer, turn it off.
Yes, because also it counts the amount of minutes that you watch the podcast. So however long you guys watch the podcast is how much money we're gonna make. So please watch the full podcast through. Don't just listen to the first 3 minutes and click off. I don't care if you're listening to it in the background, just have some headphones in while you're doing a quick run, or if you're doing your homework, maybe just listen to the podcast because we do talk about some really good things, some things that are going to help you, some things that you may be interested in. You may be a closeted witch right now. You may be a Christian in the witch closet, in the broom closet, just waiting to come out. And we are going to deliver a lot of those messages for you. So, like he said, this is the end of the podcast last video. We are uploading this video also on YouTube just in case you guys want to watch the full video version of this podcast. It's going to be the fishing version on YouTube. But yeah, that's really all I have to do. So we will talk to you guys in 2 days because I don't know when I'm gonna post this, but we're gonna post it probably 2 days later. The next one probably 2 days later. So bye.